This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
TC's back, everybody. He's back. We went 9 movies in. TC was hanging on, participating sparsely. He stayed through it. He didn't quit. He didn't quit the podcast. So he can't quit now, but he didn't do it. So that's good.
No. No quitting.
And
no
as a treat, we went to the theaters this week with a movie that is getting ridiculously good reviews. It's got a 97 popcorn meter for audiences on Rotten Tomatoes, 98% for critics. So it's got an 85 on Metacritic. It's pretty freaking high.
Best audience score ever for a horror film.
Yeah, it's got a straight A audience score. Only time that's ever happened. A- was the previous top score for a horror movie. So record setting. Second horror movie ever to be filmed in the IMAX format. The first one being Nope, back 3 years ago. Oh. Thanks, Christopher Nolan. You can pat him on the back right there, John. That's Christopher Nolan.
Oh, good job, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, thanks.
What do you mean? What did he have to do with it?
He helped Ryan Coogler film in IMAX because he didn't know how to do it. Yeah.
Aw, okay.
He helped.
That's cool.
Yeah. This movie is Sinners. It is written and directed by one Ryan Coogler, who is from Oakland, California. You know, I'm not from Oakland, but I live here.
But he represents it now.
Yeah, I'm here. And it's nice to see someone from Oakland make it, you know, because it's a often shat on
it's
city.
Oakland.
It's Oakland.
Because it's Oakland, right.
Yeah.
As we shit on it.
Right.
I think with the film that when we do this podcast and we've seen a film that's in theaters, one sort of kickoff might be before we even do our 20 seconds or whatever is, should you go see it? Like before we even say anything about it.
Should you see it, and should you see it in the theaters, or could you watch it at home?
Yeah.
How about that?
That's fair too. Like, yeah, do you want to wait till streaming, or I don't know if that
Right.
I just making up a new sort of segment, but
Your idea,
I like
John,
that.
you can start it off first.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Why don't you start us off?
and my response would be, fuck yes, you should go see this in the theaters.
Fuck yes, you should go see this in the theaters.
Fuck yes, you should go see this in the theater.
There we go. That's
we're
3
on the
buckets.
same page.
You're gonna lose all the good stuff if you don't go see it in the theater.
Yeah. So, all right. So 20-second review. Let's start with John. 20 seconds. Spoiler free. Brand new movie. Make sure it's spoiler free.
All right, spoiler
As it is
free.
new.
Yeah, that's fair. This movie just goes wherever it wants to. It's like the sure hand of the director and the writer, and you really see it. And it's stylish all the way out. The music is great. The acting is great. It's just fabulous. It's just like a fantastic movie experience. I kind of always reminds me of seeing one of the really good like Indian films that just goes wherever the fuck it wants to. And I loved it. I just thought it was amazing.
Nice. TC, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I can echo what John said there. I think Michael B was great. He played both roles great. I thought the music at times was a little bit annoying, but some of that sound that they had in there, man, was fantastic, and it just like blows you out of the seat. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, I agree. This movie was like very much a popcorn horror movie. It was not really scary at all, even though Naomi was scared, but it was entertaining like all the way through, even though it's
non-stop.
Everyone was funny. All the actors were amazing. And there was just so much interesting shit. And once it started taking left turns, I was like, fuck yeah, this movie's crazy
right?
too. On top of everything else, it's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. It certainly keeps you engaged. I'll give you that.
So the scene where, to get out of the spoiler-free stuff now,
Right.
the scene where he's playing the song and the fucking futuristic guitar guy comes into the scene.
What is that
I
about?
loved it. I just thought it was so
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was just like, what is this?
I know.
Where are we going with this?
I was
And,
so like, yeah.
in hindsight, I was like, I probably could have done without that part. I don't know if it.
Maybe.
Oh no, that was like the
But
best part of the
I
movie to
still-
me.
I
But
still
no,
loved
for
it,
story wise, like I don't know.
No, it was conveying.
It was weird.
It's
as
kind of
fuck.
out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
they sort of again. I think I liked how they tried to lay some groundwork for that in terms of
The
talking.
intro
yeah.
exposition thing where it's
Yeah.
like music is magic. Get ready.
Right.
It's
That's
gonna
right.
get weird.
I just loved it because I thought it was just so well. I just loved watching it. I just loved watching that.
And I thought
No,
the
it
music
was
was
very
awesome.
it really the amount of mixing had to be done to
Right? No
mend all that
shit.
stuff together. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know, TC. You said you didn't like some of the music.
No,
I
it was
loved
just
all
the
of it,
electric
but-
guitar. Whatever that romance electric guitar was in there was brutal.
just kind of like the.
That was my least favorite. But like
That's
the distorted guitars, that was perfect. It was
Yeah.
right in the moment. But there was like this weird like noodling
They're trying to
romantic.
make it future
like,
sounding sort of.
I don't know. It was that was my only
That's fair.
gripe. That was it. So
But-
it's pretty good for
Was that
the
only
rest
in
of the
that
movie.
one song, or
It
was
was
that
something
throughout the
early
movie?
on. It was kind of early on, maybe first 2/3. There was like this weird noodling kind of electric guitar with a lot of reverb on it.
I
It just
didn't
kind
hear.
of stuck
I don't-
out for me. I don't know.
As part
So
of like
not-
as
so
part
not-
of the part of like the background score, that was going
yeah,
on. Or,
it was part of the background score.
Yeah.
And it was in transition
Yeah,
a few
I
times where I was just like, I don't know.
It didn't hit me. Yeah.
But I thought otherwise, man, that stuff was, really cool. It's just funny to watch them like not be able to come in the door like a bunch of times, and like that joke just keeps landing. And
was
it's like, I didn't even get mad at it. I was like, what are they going to say this time? Right. Like they made it like funny.
The guy's like,
fact
hey, come
that
out to
they
the
couldn't
car.
cross the
Don't worry about that
threshold.
guy getting eaten
Right.
alive on the ground right there. You got to come out to the
come
car.
on, baby. The car's warm.
Yeah,
come
that's
on. You want your
Yeah.
water.
Oh, that guy. Oh, he's hungry.
Oh, what's wrong? No, nothing's wrong there. He's just eating them, but no big deal. He'll be up in a
Oh shit!
second.
This isn't blood. This is wine. The guy we dumped outside wasn't dead. He was just drunk.
I mean, it was I thought Michael B. really did a great job though.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was two different characters, big time. I would have never have been able to guess that he was that good at two different people in the
he's
same.
always the
shot.
same. He's always the same, right? Whenever I see him
Yeah.
in like in Creed, he seemed the same as he was in Black Panther movies,
Oh.
as he was, and even like Fruitvale Station, he kind of seemed like
He's very
Michael B.
similar
Jordan.
all the way across.
Right,
right.
And this one, it was actually like, holy shit! I think this guy
He
can
was
act.
two different
Oh, wow.
characters, and he did a great job. I thought. I thought some of those sub stories were good too. With the ex girlfriend that.
Oh yeah.
It was just great all around.
Like
I mean,
all
I
of
don't
it,
know.
all of it fucking worked, and it's just
Yeah,
amazing.
it really did.
There was so
and then
much of it.
It was so satisfying at the end.
Yes,
Like it was
Yeah,
just
oh, dude,
satisfying.
dude,
it
Buddy
didn't
got
even
that-
matter if it was
no,
good or bad.
no,
it was just like I got what I needed
Yeah.
there. I am so happy it
That's
ended
what
that way.
I was always
Which end are you
worried.
talking about?
Just like the fact that they all came in and they all fought and then they all move on to the next thing and then by the end he's shooting people at the he's shooting all the clans people.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It was just all of that was satisfying.
saw-
And
you
even
saw-
the fact that you get to know that he went across, he like crossed over and
Yeah.
his wife and his daughter are there. Like all of that was just like it was satisfying.
And I liked it too in that last scene how this movie gets a little serious sometimes, but even then, in like the most quote unquote touching part of the movie where he's dying and he's taking his child from his wife,
Right,
That
right.
the movie still keeps its weird freaking sense of humor where the
blows the
KKK
guy away.
Right,
is
yeah,
still
yeah.
alive and he
Yeah,
just
blow him
shoots the
away.
shit out of him
12
just
times.
in the
Yeah.
middle of this touching
Right,
scene.
yeah, yeah.
They
One of
still
my
do
other
that.
favorites was the lady when she's sticking him through the heart and she burns and they
Yeah.
cut back randomly to her
Yeah.
burning.
Yeah,
And
and she's
she's
still
like, "Where'd
stabbing
that-"
him.
I'm like, I thought that storyline was over. Like she had died, quote unquote,
no,
like
she's
maybe
still pissed.
2 minutes earlier. No, she's still going. She
Yeah.
is still going. And
They
she's
show her a
burning.
few times, like she's
It was
on
great.
fire, she's stabbing, and
then she's
she's not putting the
completely
fire
an
out, and then
ember.
she's dead. Yeah, burning with the knife into the guy. She was
Oh,
pissed.
I laughed on that one. I laughed on that one.
This was more than anything a comedy, I think. But the entire theater was laughing really consistently, front to back. Even in like the first half, this movie does. It seems original in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, it is exactly like the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. If you guys have seen that movie,
Which he says that it was a big influence on this. Like Dusk Till Dawn feels like just it's your normal movie until you hit the vampire part, right?
right. The first half is like two criminals kidnap a family and they're trying to get across the border to Mexico. And like halfway through the movie, they get across the border and then they hit the strip joint. As soon as they get into Mexico, they go into the strip joint for the night. And hey, guess what? Everyone in the strip joint is a vampire. And then they have to like kill them. And that's
Right, it's
basically the
spoilers.
same plot.
Right,
That's like
is
the
it-
same pacing or whatever, where this movie is halfway, it's maybe a little further in the movie. It's all vampire-y. But the first half is basically like a drama about these two mobsters from Chicago that are trying to start their own juke joint. And it's like a fun little get the gang back together sort of story where everyone has their own funny little thing where they have to go get them.
Yep.
And that's like the first half of the movie, and it's pretty awesome.
And it's great. Yeah, it has such a great style to it. The blues music in there is so good. It's so good. Like when they're in their car and he starts playing, and you get to really feel how good he is. It's awesome.
Miles
It's
Canton, the actor who plays Sammy, that's his voice. He's never
yeah.
done anything else before. This is his first movie.
First movie, he's done some singing. He was he toured with HER or her. Is that you just call her her or do you call
No
her
idea.
HER? Anyway, relatively, he was like a baritone singer, backup singer for her. And he like released a single in 2023 and just her encouraged him to go try out for this part.
But it's so rare in movies to have performances like Miles Cann's performance, where
This is his
as
first
an audience member, you're not just being told it's amazing because that's the way everyone in the movie portrays it, but you see it and you agree with Michael B. Jordan's expression when he hears.
They're not like hiding everything with a weird shot so that you can hide the fact that they're not playing or something.
They did that,
but you know,
they show him singing it, and you're like, this guy's really fucking good.
No,
I don't even listen to blues, and this guy is amazingly good.
No, it's beautiful. And in fucking contrast to, we also saw the Minecraft movie earlier in the week, and we get to hear Jack Black sing.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
And it's half for comedy, but anyway, it's just so annoying. But no,
style.
Yeah, of course, it's that over the top rock style. You know, it's like almost mocking
it's
rock,
like opera rock, almost, but
like
making
mocking
fun of it.
Ozzy Osbourne, but yet somehow taking it seriously. Anyway, anyway. So no, you're right. It's a really good point, Denny. I don't know. I can't think of many other times because the movie. This happens all the time in the movies when you have like a talented performer who's good, whatever they're doing, they're going to wow somebody. And we all have to be like, we all watch the expression of the other, and maybe they're okay, maybe they're kind of wowy, but I think this hits the nail on the head as good as anything does.
And they don't build up to it either. Like this movie, in the marketing, it doesn't really build up to that necessarily, and in the movie, it doesn't either. Usually, when they have something that's good, they're like, "Hey, check it out, guys! There's going to be some really good singing later."
Really sing. Yeah, you're right.
But this one's just like he's in the car, he's like playing the guitar, and then bam, you're like, "Oh shit! Okay, that came out of absolutely nowhere."
Right. Even better,
it's great
that
to just relate to Michael B. Jordan's character and his facial expression. Like
I know,
I felt
he was
there.
like, "Holy shit, you're good!" Right? Yeah,
even better that they do it in the car because you're not even it's not like he's getting up on the stage and we're about to hear his first performance that pulls down the house. Nah, he's just in the car, and it's even better that they do that.
Mm-hmm.
But singing was good.
Singing so good.
But I was really wondering too. I worry because I like From Dusk Till Dawn too, but it sort of falls apart in the second half. Like horror movies do this a lot. They sort of don't stick a landing very well. This one
did.
Yeah, this one did because the first failed. I feel like the first one where all the vampires died, that ending wasn't great.
No.
Right? It kind of went way too fast at the end. It like built up to this big fight, and the fight was over in like 2 minutes, and then all the vampires are dead.
Quick.
Right.
And then I was like, that was weird how fast that went. Okay, I thought this movie was like flawless until right now, but then it kept going for some reason.
Yes.
And then the freaking whichever one, Stack, I think, is the one that lives, right? Whichever Michael B. Jordan Smoke lives. Okay. So when he kills
dies,
all the KKK members, like that is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. When he's sniping them first, it was like all of a sudden we're in a war movie, and I mean, it was,
and the violence. This movie looked freaking incredible. Like the cinematography and stuff was great, but the gore was like unreal.
Some of those
good.
neck shots, man.
Yeah,
Woo.
it looked real. Like I don't think I've ever seen slow motion violence of gunshots. Not that that's like a hugely overplayed thing, but watching that last scene, you're like, how the fuck do they do this? Is this CG?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like CG.
It looked,
I mean, it might be.
It also wasn't. I don't know. It's weird to say. It didn't like. I wasn't sick of it. It didn't feel gratuitous, even though there was a ton of it. I don't know how to say that.
I was cheering at it. It was kind of like
almost
like a Tarantino movie or something.
Yeah, right. It is. It definitely feels like that scene was very Tarantino feeling too, especially like he's crying at the kid, but then he shoots the guy 35 times or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it definitely feels like that.
That's one of the best parts.
Yeah.
I feel like he puts his toe in like that kind of, I mean, this movie successfully goes from comedy to not really horror. I mean, I don't know. What did you guys think about the horror movie elements?
It's horror,
in this?
but
it wasn't scary like that. It was more just like, ooh, a lot, you know? Yeah. Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Look
He's
at that.
flying! Oh shit! Watch out! He's
right,
flying!
up, he's up.
Yeah.
I know.
The
and then
flying,
it cuts.
when he did
I
the
thought
fly
that was
thing
so
was cool.
good. The
That
first
was well
time we
done.
saw that.
Yeah.
The way it cuts away, it shows you a glimpse and then cuts, and you're like, "Whoa!"
And the
okay.
the audio smooths it over so well, and you're just like into this other scene, and oh man, it was great. I thought that like just really surprised me in a good way,
and surprised everyone in the theaters. People towards the back half of this movie were yelling in their seats. I fucking
I had
love
people
it
next
when
to
people
me
do
too. And they were like, "Oh no!" Or like when the lady called them in, she was like, "Why? Why? Why would you do that?" She was like screaming at it. It was funny. Everybody around us was laughing.
I love
at
it
her.
too. I love that they did that. They're like,
good.
we're not going to draw this showdown out. We're not going to draw this standoff off anymore. We're going to make it so this happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they haven't come through the threshold,
Yeah.
and it's been a while so far. So they just got to get to it.
And not in a way that seemed forced. That was a totally reasonable thing for that woman to do, right?
No.
Now we never go back to the kid. We don't know if the kid survived or not.
Yeah.
Right?
I have to imagine the vampires. I thought it was another thing that's confusing is the vampires are really mean and they'll eat anyone until they don't. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Because
right.
I don't know. Did you guys sit through the last two credit sequences in the movie?
No. Fuck.
What?
No. I
Oh,
walked
no.
away.
Oh,
I
Oh,
got
so
out
you
as soon
missed
as
a
I got
lot,
out,
dude.
yeah.
You missed
Oh,
a little bit.
dude.
Yeah.
So the mid-credit sequence is the Sammy character in 1992. He's like 80 years old or something. He's still alive.
Playing the guitar or whatever.
Playing the guitar in like a juke joint sort of thing, like small club. And Smoke and the Haley Steinfeld character, they're vampires and they haven't aged and they come in wearing ridiculous 90s clothing.
Oh, wow.
And they walk in after he's done playing and they're like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Holy shit, it's you guys." And Smoke tells him that Stack made him promise not to kill Sammy because he was about to kill him with the stake or whatever. And he didn't kill him because he promised not to hurt Sammy. So they're just coming by to say hi. And like they have all of his records and just like saying, "Hey."
Oh, dude. I'm sorry you missed it because it was also it's Buddy Guy playing this. A really awesome blues musician is playing this old guy.
Nice.
But it's just,
I never stay.
Oh, dude,
I always go. As soon as that thing pops up,
I know
lights come on.
I
I'm
know,
out.
but this wasn't
Yeah.
just like a stinger. This was beautiful, and it was a really good exchange where Sammy says, that they have this exchange where he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Before all that shit went down, that was the best night of my life." And Smoke says, "Yeah, me too." And
It was the last time I saw a Stack. It was the last time I saw the sun.
Yeah.
That's
I
cute.
mean, it was good. It was a really good bow on the whole thing. I mean, and
Yeah.
I think to your point too about it not feeling like quite horror, it was so stylish. Like it was made me think of the Lost Boys kind of horror, where it's like this is like
fun.
cool vampires.
It's a fun house.
Yeah, I know. People are dying.
Good old fashioned
Yeah.
blood fest.
And you still
Yeah.
it still manages to walk enough of a line where you take the death seriously. Where you're still like, oh,
Well, you like the
shit,
characters,
yeah.
right? Every character is
Right.
likable.
Every
Right.
one of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
They're all funny.
Yeah.
They're all
all
and they all
funny.
play a good little part
They're
that
funny.
means something.
They're
to
funny.
to
They have
these two.
depth, and they're cool. Like every single
And
one.
they have
of
an
them sort of
actual
like,
part in the plot.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
not just like
Yeah.
something really stupid to push a plot thing forward. It's like a
Yeah.
character thing that they're
Right.
involved in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
And
pretty
they all
amazing.
make
Talking
decisions
about like
because they like each other. Like you said, getting the band back together. That's
Right.
a perfect way to phrase
But
it. 'Cause,
even these are-
they all when they show back up, everybody misses them, so they're like ready to do whatever they want. It's like so. I thought that was really.
and they all
I don't
have
know,
flaws,
just like
but they're all
you
accepting of it.
hear about all the rumors, like they keep exposition is like in the beginning they tell you about the two twins and blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, these guys are important. But then when they actually go back and all of these people in the town are like, hey,
Yeah.
what's up? Right?
Yeah.
Even as they get shot while they're robbing them,
Right,
they're
right.
still happy to see them.
Like, oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
then
they'll
you
do
start
that.
it just made it more like they're more important, than just talking about it.
Right.
So I thought that was good. It's just, like you said, when they get the band back together, it just makes for like a good ensemble, fun situation. And then, oh, by the way, there's vampires and they're going to eat everybody.
And dude, I mean, think about ensemble casts where there's so many characters that have their own little parts to play. It's rare to have them
like actually matter.
They all
have them
shine.
matter
Yeah.
and have them to be
Yeah,
like funny and
Yeah.
act dramatic and just do everything
Well, I
the movie
think
asks them to do, which is quite a lot.
It doesn't happen often where you get to have the whole like you die, but then you're alive some other way, right? The vampire part really so at least you like saw them die, but then you see them come back a different
Yeah.
way, so like changes everything.
And they're
But
having a
Michael B.
fun
Jordan
with
has
it.
3 characters basically in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
And everyone
it's
else
great.
has 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's parts where like in other movies they're asshole mobsters, right? If this was a Martin Scorsese movie and Michael B. Jordan was going around and recruiting the teammates, he would go to Cornbread when he was in the field picking cotton and he'd say something mean and everyone would be like, "Oh, come on, man, why do you gotta be so mean?" And this
Yeah.
one, he's like, "Hey, maybe your wife will
got
suck
money."
your dick," and the wife is like, "Maybe I will."
Go get the
How much
money.
is it? So instead of like pissing it off and having it like be a negative thing,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like everyone has their own funny relationships.
Yep.
In every
Yep.
single instance, and it's way more lighthearted that way. It's funnier that way.
It's usually
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
positive. It's usually a positive interaction, which is
Right.
which is really
Well,
interesting.
because let's
right?
be honest, right? Like the good thing about these two is they're actually they're building a place for them to like retire in and like bring something back to the community they love for a little while at least. And so they wanted to make money, but in a way that like made them also happy. So they're like, when the vampires come in, all we do is like these people because ultimately they're really trying to better their lives and they're doing it together. So it's like all of a sudden it goes from that to everybody's dying and it's like a whole flip, right? It's like just like the flip of a switch and all of a sudden it's a totally different movie, but all of it worked perfectly together. So it just was, I mean, it's something else to watch him become two different people. And then the fact that he, Stack there comes at the end and kills the wife. That's some fucked up shit. I don't know about you guys. That got me. I was like,
Naomi was pulling on my arm. Naomi was pulling on my arm. I'm just like, I don't know. I can't help you, Naomi. I can't stop.
She's like, in that line, she's like, not you. It's can't be you. And I was like, oh, that's some fucked up shit. The brothers killing the brothers. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I thought one of the best parts of the movie, besides that one musical part where it was that sing-along take and everyone joins in the music, that was one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
But the scene where, as a horror movie fan, where they do a play on the Thing test.
Oh, yeah. The garlic eating.
Yeah, the garlic eating where they're all standing around. That was fucking hilarious.
That was good.
That was so funny. Like, especially because they did the joke once and then they did the same joke again, but ramped it up when, like, the woman who's a bit of a snob ate the garlic and she was kind of making, you're like, stop making fucked up movements. They're going to shoot you. But then the older guy starts, like, freaking out and, like, all this stuff. I'm like, holy shit, that guy's a vampire?
He could actually be a vampire. I know.
Yeah, and he's like, sorry, I drank too much. Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, I loved it.
Such a great way to be like, who's going to get killed right now? Nobody. They're just doing something silly, eating garlic in a circle.
Yep. Right.
Nice.
And again, everybody is so interesting and likable. I just one more time hit that point of like, it's not just that you could call it an ensemble, but there's like small parts here. Like just the two shopkeepers, like him and his wife, are awesome. They're really cool. And we don't see much of them. But their interactions are funny. The way that she haggles with him over the sign is a great scene. Like we only got red, and I just really cool. I mean, just these small little parts are even the way I think it. Whether it's I do get Smoke and Stack confused, but
Smoke is the sad one. Stack is the less sad one.
Yeah. Well,
right. He's the funny one.
Stack is the funny one.
Smoke is going and like just telling the girl what to do when she's watching the truck for him. That was great. It was just a great small scene, and it could.
And just how the little girl backs away from him too in the beginning. And he's like, "Wait a minute, I got money for it." She's like,
"I got money,"
okay.
and they're like, "Oh,
right, exactly,
but,
right."
Which is cool is at the end, money can't save you, right?
That's true.
So they make a good point of.
And I did not know for sure this was a vampire movie. I hadn't seen any trailers or anything, so I thought there might be impending doom because it sounds they had
the
mob was
going to
come get him.
them?
Yeah, I thought that's what there is a sense of like futility to what they're doing in a sense. Like you get a sense that they kind of know that they're probably fucked. That like they robbed from like both mafia families or something. So that's
which, by the way, great idea.
Right,
I mean, pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Plus the KKK is there too. Don't forget about the KKK.
That's right. Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Anyway, it just. But yeah, it's just pretty amazing. I love another favorite part was like, oh fuck yeah, I'm glad that the vampires get their own musical act, and it's fucking good.
River dance, vampire river dance. Fuck yeah.
Vampire river
By the way,
dance.
that song was creepy as fuck, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God damn!
It's
and when they
good.
singing it later, all in unison, that shit was
they
fucked
sing that song.
up.
But it's
that get you? That got you?
It got me.
Nice.
That one got me.
It is
one got
really
me.
good. But I don't know, man.
And I thought even in the beginning when there were the vampires just singing the song, the three of them, I was like, this is really good.
Dude,
Like,
it is. It's
I like
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
Right. I liked when they were
And creepy.
auditioning on the porch.
Like,
And
why are
creepy
you guys
too.
so perfect? You walked out of the woods and you play perfect music. This
Yeah.
isn't right. Right?
That scene when they get turned to those two racists get turned by the one, and all the Native Americans drive up, try to save them, and they're like,
never
good luck.
mind.
Sun's
That's
setting.
right.
See you
Sun's
later.
coming up. We gotta our sun's going down. We gotta go. Or
we
was.
gotta get out of here. Before
Again,
it gets
even they were
fucked up.
they're a small part, but they were cool. They like it just had like it was a very small part to sort of give you some foreboding. They were still very watch. It was very neat to
There's
watch.
Native
them.
American vampire hunters in this movie, in that for half of a scene, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a whole movie right there.
Right.
You could have a movie
That's
there.
true.
No, it is
That's
pretty
true.
cool.
Like him escaping and how he got to be in that predicament is a movie.
Yeah, I mean, people obviously do research on these movies. When he
Yeah.
was talking about your people stole my father's land or whatever, people did some research, and he has to be 1,300 years old
Oh, okay.
for that to be the case. So
Whoa.
he's a super old vampire,
Yep.
that main guy.
Jesus. How do you catch him? That's what I want to know.
You just make him forget about the sun rising.
Make him,
easily?
you get him monologuing. Any old villain, any old good villain, you get him monologuing. Just
People have theories too
garlic?
where they when what's his name, the older drunk guy who I've seen in a bunch of other stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about?
harmonica playing guy.
Harmonica playing guy. When that guy gets eaten when he sacrifices himself, he's so drunk that he slows down the rest of the vampires, which is how they end up getting killed.
Hey,
Oh.
Yeah.
that's a good. I like that. I like that line.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either. His name is Delroy Lindo. The actor's name is that. Delta
He-
Slim is
yeah.
his name in the movie.
Yeah. He was.
Everything that came out of his mouth was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Every
Yeah, he was
single
so
one.
Oh,
good.
yes. He was great. He was great.
I can
Delivered
see
his
it.
lines perfectly.
Oh, yeah. You can see it
Honest,
coming when
yeah.
they approach him and he's the harmonic player. Like, oh, this is good.
Oh, yeah.
This
He's
is
going to
be
good. Right.
It's,
I thought it just, I mean, really, it was just so, I don't know, engaging is the only word I can keep coming back to. It's just hard to take your eyes off the screen.
It was, and it was so engaging that like walking away from it the first time, I was like, well, that was. And there's no depth to it. It was my initial thought, and I was like, "That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need depth in every
doesn't
single
need
movie
it.
I have." But there is,
Yeah.
there is like
I mean-
reading about it. There is depth, but the movie does so much on like the visceral, pleasing
Yeah.
kind of level, like the
Right.
like throw shit at your face
Right.
and distract you the
Right.
entire time, and it doesn't need the It doesn't need that underscore of like
Right, or
metaphor
point it out to
make
you.
you appreciate it.
Yeah.
It works at like a pure popcorn level the entire time by itself, which is pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Especially when you go
found
back and
I
look
found
into
it
things.
really,
and,
yeah, but not just like popcorn, but it was still really moving when it wanted to be. Like just really, again, like the scene of him singing in the car, or the dance scene, or even some of the emotional bits that they would have. Like it was really touching at times, and did it like amazingly well. And you didn't dwell on it much because then it moved on to something else pretty quickly. But like you said, even where we've got the two love interests and how they interact with the twins, and it's all really well done, and they each have their own like pain or different problems. One where she's white, the other where they lost a kid together. Shit, I mean, and it's all really like amazingly handled and really moving for the time. But then it moves on. And by the end of the film, it's kind of hard to, I don't know. It's not like that's what the film was about, so it doesn't sit with you, those pieces necessarily, because so many other things happen too.
Yeah,
to
it's
remember.
not just a one-trick pony. This
Nope.
is a multiple-trick pony, for
and
sure.
speaking of endings, this movie has two endings: the mid-credit sequence and the post-credit sequence. In my theater, the lights stayed dim
Oh,
right
smart.
after it stayed dim until the mid-credit sequence. So we watched the one in the 90s, and then it went back to more credits, and the lights turned on. So
Okay.
everyone fucking
Oh.
left. And then I came back home, and I read that there was another post-credit sequence that I missed.
What? There's a
Damn.
third? Or
There's a second.
The second.
Did you miss the
Wait,
second one?
I guess I did.
Yeah. Fucking
Shit.
theaters. You're not supposed to turn the light on if there's more movie.
What happened? What happened?
They do that all the time. And in my place, I had to write the check. I had to sign the check because it's one of those
Was
deliver
it
to your seats.
Alamo?
No,
Alamo Draft House?
Sinopolis. So they come on quick because you got to see your check to get the fuck out of there.
So this one kept the lights off for the first half of the credits and then turned them on after the first.
Oh, wow.
post-credit. Like, why would you do it then? There's another
If
one
there's
coming.
more.
Yeah.
Right.
But the
Damn.
second one is Sammy as a young person before even the beginning of this movie started playing This Little Light of Mine in his father's church.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Which is
Very
supposed
cool.
to say a lot about how that was like a big slave song at the time and how he started, like it showed more of his background of like he was destined to be, following his father's footsteps to become like the pastor or whatever, but then he followed his gifts/dreams to become the guitarist, and how you could say a lot about like how it's, worth it to become like to follow your passion or whatever if
Yeah.
you want to, whatever you want to
That's fine. I mean, that just seems like that's just something they filmed. They're like, oh, we'll throw this in here. It didn't really feel like that's part of like ending the story the way that first post-credit sequence does. And so I'm not as upset that I missed it, but
No,
so,
it doesn't do more plot-wise. It does more thematically,
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
to wrap it up.
yeah. But like they could have started with that one if they wanted to. Like that could have been an early scene. But yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I like how they foreshadowed it. I think they did a good job of foreshadowing everything to the point where it's not just gonna. It doesn't want to completely surprise you that some horrible shit's gonna go down. So it gives you the narrative at first. It shows you him walking in there all bloodied up with the guitar in kind of a spite
save the
format.
cat.
Yeah. And
You love that Hitchcock shit, John. You love it. You eat it up with a spoon.
No. I do love it because then you have to. You're not as you know what's going to happen, but the thing is how, Denny. Now it's how.
Oh, that's
See,
how. That's
now
what it
you're
is.
interested in how, and I am going to show you how and
No,
amaze
it's,
you.
what the thing is, it's not so you like that because it lets you enjoy. It makes it so that the story to get there has to be worth it to get there. But according to Hitchcock, it's to add suspense because you know something bad is going to happen. You just don't know when.
Right.
So even in the beginning, when everyone's just talking to each other and having a good time, you're in suspense because you're like, wait a minute.
Is it coming?
He's going to get fucked up by the end.
yeah,
Something's going to
right.
happen.
But I'm not in suspense there because you basically know, or you don't know, but you figure, okay, one day later, they're getting everybody ready for the juke joint show. It's going to happen there. Clearly, they're going to have their performance, and that's going to ring the devils. And then, here we're given all the pieces, to know kind of the general structure of what's going to happen. And I like that. I think then
Kind
you're
of.
like,
Did you know it was only going to be one day when it said one day earlier? I never know with these types of movies. Like that could have gone
that
to
20
halfway to the movie and it could have continued on further. It's hard to tell sometimes.
I guess
There's
so.
always
I
a
would
point in
never-
these
I mean,
movies
how
where I'm
can
like,
you know?
we're
How
like
can
an
you
hour and a
know?
half in, and it's still like before the sun sets. I'm pretty sure we're going whole day one movie.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
fair.
we're doing here.
Yeah.
But it does throw
didn't know.
me off a little bit because like that one day earlier could be a 5-minute long scene. But hey, look at that.
And
It's
then
2.5 hours
or they,
later.
they pick up where
That's
he's
true.
pulling in halfway through the movie instead,
Yeah.
where it's not really the ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Kept you guessing. This guy, Ryan Coogler, have you guys seen Fruitvale Station?
No, I haven't
Yes.
seen that. Or the
Sure have.
Is that pretty good?
Awesome.
Great. Yes.
It's awesome.
And it was Michael
You
B.
gotta watch
Jordan's
that
first
one.
movie.
Yeah.
It was Ryan Coogler's first movie.
Wow.
He
So that's I didn't realize I didn't put that together. So these are two guys that are seasoned at this point.
Michael B. Jordan has been in every single Ryan Coogler movie. 100%.
That's sick. So they're buddies.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty funny. And then so Ryan Coogler did Fruitvale Station, which was original, and then he went right to I forget if it was Black Panther or Creed.
It was
next. I think it was Creed.
Was it Black Panther next?
I don't know. He went straight to like franchise big ass movies after that movie, and he did Creed, he did Black Panther, and he did Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the sequel.
Right.
And this was his foray back into original stuff. And in those movies, he had to shoot digital, even though he loves the filmmaking process of film. Because Fruitvale Station was shot on 16 millimeter film. He was the last class of I forget which UC school it was, but a big UC film school. He was the last class to be taught how to film on film.
Wow.
And the year before him, or sorry, the year after him was digital. That's when they switched it to all digital. So he's one of the, they're phasing
One
it
of the
out.
last ones. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude
but luckily,
is 38 years old.
Coogler is.
Damn.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
He's got some time.
That's sick.
Hopefully he makes some money here. This movie was quite expensive to make, which is not surprising. It's doing pretty well at the box office, and it's got legs from what it looks like. It's kind of hard to tell so far because we're just a week into it, but
Yeah. So he did. Yeah. Well, it certainly one of the ideas is that it's a net gain for Warner Brothers. Really, I mean, even if it's like a really good, it's going to have a lot of Oscar buzz, and fuck it. If
is it?
doesn't.
It's so far away. People forget shit these days.
Yeah, I don't know, but this one, well, we'll see. I don't know, but it doesn't. We'll see. It should.
Best cinematography, best special effects, best sound, best
Right.
songs,
Right.
best acting. I could see
Right.
some best acting in there. Like it
Yeah.
could. If this was released in November, this would be a shoo-in for a ton of those. But
that's
it's fucking
true.
April. When do Oscar bait movies come out in April?
That's fair.
It's going to
I
be
don't
forgotten
know,
about.
I don't know the schedule. I didn't even know there was. I thought they kind of look them over at the end anyway.
People don't even fucking watch the movies, TC. Remember the article I sent you?
Oh, yeah.
They
That's right.
need to be told what movies are on the list. They don't watch them, and they pick them based on
How do they do that? What? That just makes
based
the
on what
Oscars
their
even
friends.
less-
Everyone in Hollywood
less
probably has
enticing.
one nerdy friend they don't invite to the parties, but that person watches the movies, and that person tells them what movies to vote for.
Look,
And
man,
they
I
do.
know, and I saw it. It's fucking shit. Don't
And if you
say
don't,
yes on that
just to
one.
say,
Right.
the Oscars came out this week with an article saying they're going to enforce all the people voting on the movies to actually watch the movies now because they weren't doing that before.
Wow.
So that was news. So at least next year, it might not be a movie like Honora where most people don't like it that wins.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because this movie was better than Nora. I liked Nora, and this movie was better than
no,
Nora.
this movie was
way
this
better.
Movie was a
This
complete.
movie would have swept Best Picture.
Yeah.
Like
Blows that one out of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
between
trying to
Nora
think-
and Amelia Perez, holy shit, this movie wins.
No,
Oh
I
my
know.
God, I know.
Girl
Was
with
it
the
a bad
Needle
year? Jesus.
holds up in a different way if it's a different, really well put together film. But nah, this is like amazing. This is like a great Hollywood film, and
It was. Yes.
I mean,
High production value.
yeah.
Great acting. Good story enough for vampires. Engaging, accessible.
And even though
I mean,
it has a
it's
lot of
just
gore,
got
in it,
everything.
I'm pretty sure you could tell anybody to watch this, right? It's the kind of gore where it's like it's violence against white supremacists and zombies, and there is some like nice human violence, but it's not done in a way that seems kind of over the top,
malicious.
right?
Almost.
You're not grossed out by the violence. You're sad the character is dying. That's like the overall feeling, which is people can relate to more. I
Or
think.
they use it for comedic effect and they don't really show the gore at that point.
Yeah.
It's like when they shoot those guys in the knees, you don't really see much, right? But you know
But
they
then they
got
shoot
shot.
the zombie in the head, and his fucking
when
face
you
is hanging out.
then it's gonna have its face falling off. That's right.
That special effect was amazing. I don't know if that was makeup. The thing is with these this was filmed on 65 millimeter, but the way the colors are, it seemed highly color corrected. Like it was really stylized in that way. But sometimes, and it looked really good, sometimes that makes CG look even better.
Fake? Yeah.
No, like even better. Cause like I can't tell what's real and what's
the
not.
other
Because
way.
everything like looks so good it couldn't be real.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Did either of you guys see this in IMAX?
Interesting. I did.
I did not.
Oh, okay. Because apparently, it's playing really well there. Apparently, too. It's one of the like bigger as far as like successful IMAX films. It's like in the top 5, if not higher than that.
Ever? What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's terms of grossing films in IMAX, or maybe it was.
It's
just
already
opening.
top 5. Wow.
Yeah,
That can't be
I think
right.
something like.
Why don't we look that one up?
Yeah, that doesn't
Hold
sound
on.
right.
I don't think I believe you.
It might have been about its opening.
It's a whole different movie.
I mean, it's performing. It is performing really well.
It is for an original R-rated
that much we know.
horror movie.
Yes.
It is doing very well. And I don't usually see billboards for movies around anywhere, and there's a ton of billboards out for this one. So, $90 to $100 million budget, pretty big budget for this movie.
Yeah.
That is great. I'm happy
that can still happen. I'm happy that it's doing not terribly. It doesn't hurt. This movie has like the most amazing critic and audience scores of any movie I can think of in the past 10, 20 years. Like
Everyone was so good in it. There wasn't anybody where I was like, oh, that's not a good actor, right?
Right.
I never felt like that in any moment that I was watching this. I thought
no one
everyone
was medium.
fantastic.
No one was like had bad moments. Everyone
Nope.
was like perfect the entire way through. Basically.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. The lines were
can't think of
delivered really
another-
well, and in like and it was written. The dialogue sounded real.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like over the top. Like this was seemingly a very normal conversational movie with vampires in it.
Add to that it's a fucking good period piece too.
That
period
too. That we didn't
Right,
even mention that.
Right. They
Some
do
of the-
that really
some of
goddamn
the
well.
wardrobe was
Yeah.
fucking fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
I wish I could
Some of
pull
the
off
scenes-
those suits.
Like his ex-wife's house when it's all in that like kind of in the swampy little area. That looked
That was
pretty fucking amazing.
Talk about a little shanty, huh?
yeah.
Jeez.
But it seemed nice.
Seemed realistic.
Mm-hmm. Is that not good? You don't want to be in the swamp, TC?
I'm not a big swamp guy. No.
They filmed it in Louisiana and in New Orleans, and the heat was bad because they wore these really
you can
thick
tell
wool
everyone was
suits.
sweating, but it was authentic, right?
And Michael B. Jordan
like-
was the champion for getting people not to complain. He was basically like, "There's absolutely nothing we can do about it, so we might as well not complain and just get through it."
Yeah.
So he
That's
was
a pro.
usually pretty positive, and kept everyone else positive. Watching interviews with him, he seems like a very positive guy, and I couldn't imagine why. What with his career and the way
I
he
was like, yeah, things are looking pretty good for him. I mean,
he's
yeah,
great
I could-
looking.
yeah.
He's a good actor. He's jacked. He's got lots of money.
Seriously, did you see him jump up the back of the truck? I was like, only someone in shape does that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's wearing
Hopped up
these
there
thick
like
ass
it
wool
wasn't
suits, and I'm like, you can tell he's jacked
yeah,
underneath,
dude's
underneath that
jacked.
freaking thick suit.
Well, I don't even want to know what his gym, thing is. I go 3 times a week. I'm exhausted.
It's funny because if you watch Fruitvale Station, he wasn't ripped. It was for Creed
No,
that he got
this
ripped.
is when he was younger. That
Right.
When he was
But he got
at
ripped
all.
for Creed, and
Stayed
13
there.
years later, he's figured it out. He's going to stay there because that's how you.
I mean, you have to. If
that's
you're
how
going to
you
be a
rake it
movie
in.
star, you got to be
Right.
jacked.
Mhm. Don't tell Steve Buscemi that, TC.
He's only there because of Adam Sandler.
What? He was famous before Adam Sandler.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Pretty sure Fargo came out before Billy Madison, didn't it?
No, it's a good question.
Maybe around the same time.
We had Reservoir Dogs before then.
That's true. Definitely
That's
Reservoir
true.
Dogs was before
That's true.
Billy Madison.
That's true. But Adam Sandler put him on the map. No, I'm just kidding.
Nobody saw those Tarantino movies.
I'm just kidding.
No one's ever heard of the Coen brothers or Quentin Tarantino. Come on.
No,
It's
but
all
they
about
all know
Adam
Billy
Sandler.
Madison and Happy Gilmore. I'll tell you that
And
much.
whoever directed
And
Billy Madison.
Waterboy and whatever else he was in.
Mr. Deeds, Little Nicky,
Come on. See?
Big
Tell me
Daddy.
that's
Come on.
That's not the best time of his life. Come on.
Classics. It's made $80 million so far. Almost all of it was domestic. This movie is not doing well overseas. I don't know why.
Well, horror.
That's
I was
interesting.
reading horror films usually don't do as well overseas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So not as much of an audience for them, I guess, in other markets. I don't know.
That's weird.
That is weird. This is like a very
You think it might do
accessible
well?
movie.
Like Japan and Korea, South Korea have really good. I guess they're kind of maybe small markets, so they don't make a dent. You don't get China or India.
Oh,
I
maybe.
guess.
Just reading
Yeah.
from IndieWire here, it's up to 64 million domestic now. So that's after one
They're
weekend
getting there.
and on a Tuesday. It's
On a Tuesday, it made $9 million on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So like, and word
I
of
mean-
mouth, there was a stat where it's like 2/3 of the tickets sold on Saturday were walk-ins,
Right.
which never happens, and it was because the
Yeah.
word of mouth. The people who saw it on Friday were like, "Yo, you have to go see it."
Right.
So people are like, "There's going to be a steady uptick maybe for this
Yeah.
movie."
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
look at us. I mean, I'm telling anybody.
I mean,
know
maybe
that
it'll
likes
just
I'm
be,
telling
movies.
everyone.
as people spread the word more, they'll keep on going. I mean, I hope it doesn't seem like they're on track right now, though.
They'll do it. Have faith. Tell
I
everyone you know.
mean, they've
TZ.
only got another week before it fizzles. Another
Not
week
necessarily.
and a half.
There's nothing else good coming out. The freaking
All
Minecraft movie had
Yeah,
the
yeah.
theaters in its fist
I know.
for like a
I
month.
was looking at like the movies
Yeah, but
coming out
kids
this
like
year.
that
and
shit. So
I
there's
did
tons
not-
of.
I know.
You know.
Well, it's just a known IP. Have you guys watched The Studio, the Apple TV series with Seth Rogen? I kind of liked it. Nikki didn't like it as much, but the premise was pretty hilarious in the first episode because Seth Rogen's this guy who's about to become head of the studio if he plays his cards right, and the key sort of thing he has to accept is they want him to make the Kool-Aid movie because basically you just need to resurrect an IP that people have some nostalgia for and you'll make millions. Basically, he's like, just got.
I mean, that seems right.
He's like,
Yeah.
he's like saying, you just got to have the IP. That's all. That's all you need is the IP. Can you do this movie? Oh yeah. So it's just funny. Anyway,
We're learning that's not the case. The Snow White movie is finally
I know,
crumbling
right,
down now.
right.
Thank
to
God.
some extent.
After all this
if you-
fucking time.
If you grab the right IP and it has enough nostalgia or at least enough of a fan base, then it makes shit tons of money. Like the Super Mario. It doesn't have to be a good movie, and the Minecraft movie is not a good movie. But it's an adequate kids film, which is fine.
Did people
too.
go
Those
nuts
usually make
during
money.
the chicken jockey scene?
No, not when we saw it. We don't have as cool of a
They're
crowd.
putting the
as that.
kibosh on that shit. Have you heard about this, TC? Do
No.
you want to
No.
hear about it? It's the most
Yes.
random shit you've ever heard. All right,
Let's
so
go.
in the Minecraft video game, there is a thing called a chicken jockey, which is basically a rare spawn of a rare spawn. There's a bunch of zombies in this game at nighttime, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, I read this from the internet. At nighttime, zombies spawn, and there's a small chance that one of these zombies, when it spawns, is a baby zombie, and there's a small chance when a baby zombie spawns that it'll be a baby zombie riding a chicken. And that thing is called a chicken jockey. It's rare. It's got rare loot. It's very special when it happens. The Minecraft movie is basically just Jack Black shouting things that are in the game that are being shown in the movie. He's
Pretty
just
much.
saying, this thing's in the game, this thing's in the game, this thing's in the game, one after the other. And there's a scene, and it was in the trailer too, which is how people got excited about it. But there's a scene where a chicken jockey shows up in like a wrestling ring or whatever, and it cuts to Jack Black, and he goes, "Chicken jockey!" And then at that point in time, everyone in the theater starts running around, throwing their candy, throwing their popcorn, shaking each other, screaming, and just generally being absolutely insane.
Sane. I see.
And
I see.
it happens
A
at this
guy,
one.
a basketball announcer mentioned that his kids did not throw the popcorn. And I didn't know what he meant by that, but now I
Okay.
do. So that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, we had no
And so
such
parents
activity.
were allowing this to happen, and it was becoming popular on social media. And
God.
theaters were having to like hire security guards. They were putting like when the chicken jockey instant would happen
not
during every
throw
single
popcorn.
showtime, so people could go in and like tamper people down. They put warnings up before the movie, being
Wow.
like, "Don't freak out when this happens, please. Yeah,
It's just a movie, guys. Just
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm
seat.
getting old, but like the feeling of society falling apart is just so strong with this
It's
one
all-
specific thing. It's just
We're getting old.
we can't not prevent this. Can you not have shitty kids, please?
Yep. Can you not have long-haired surfer guys apply at this company? I mean, Jesus, right? I mean, it's the same shit.
Can we get more dads like John, please, who's just a real grump, but will stop their kids from being fucking bad children
Yeah.
in a theater?
Yeah, right. Can we have some fear instilled in these kids so that
Yep.
they don't throw popcorn around?
I paid a ticket to see a movie and I can destroy it now. I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
It's my
Because of
right.
the video game.
Yeah.
It's rare.
We're talking
Well,
about
that's
another
interesting.
movie, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
This
so
movie does
anyways,
the
what do we
opposite.
got?
This movie does the exact opposite to get off that point where Minecraft movie is a cash in and there's no original ideas, there's no effort put into it, whatever.
Right.
This movie is the exact opposite where it's an original
Right.
idea from a guy who broke away from the system being like, I'm done with Marvel movies. Like, thank you for all the money. I appreciate for the launch pad, but I'm going to get back. He wouldn't have got this much money if he didn't do those other movies. So it's kind of like, can't
And
hate
they
on
gave
it
him
too
a
much.
sweet deal in terms of like what they were offering him to make this movie and the amount of freedom that he had. I thought too. So I
Who
don't
did?
know. Did you hear about that?
No.
Damn it! Now I gotta look that up.
Can you
Damn
just
it.
remember, John,
can't
put
remember shit
things in
anymore.
your brain and then just pull them out of your brain
I should
at a
make
later
notes.
point in time.
You know, I used to do that when I was a young lad. They call that memory.
Memory. Most people don't have it these days, you know? 'Cause
I don't.
and most people blame it on TikTok, which I can't argue against.
Mine's probably marijuana.
Drugs. I would say maybe drugs for
I
me.
would say that for me, it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So once they start earning money, which they're not even close to doing right now, some people estimate that this movie needs $300 million to break even.
See.
Even with a $90
wow.
million budget these days, it's so like movies are so fucked up these days where they got money from, I think, Hulu and Netflix to make this movie. No, sorry, it was Netflix and Amazon. It was two streaming companies that had first rights to stream it on their platforms, and they got money from that. So it's not even just like movie production and advertising anymore, where it's like double the production budget.
Right.
Is that it's even more money than that these days, which is fucking insane.
It's a money pit.
Yeah. I mean, just because of that, it's amazing this movie even got made. So I really fucking hope it breaks even and makes money, because otherwise people will like second guess. Because this movie it would be impossible to sell. It's like this movie has 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has the only A cinema score of horror movies, and it didn't make any money. So we're never doing this ever
That's
again.
right.
Right.
So if you're
That's a
listening to
shame.
this, go see the fucking movie. See it in IMAX. Spend your money. Spend it in the theaters. Make it so they can make movies like this again. This is a rare one.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, would you put it in the top 250?
I got some trivia.
Ah.
Getting away that
Trying
easy.
to sneak out the door there, TC. You didn't
I
there.
thought it was a
always-
nice
he's always
wrap
looking
up
for his
point,
way out.
you know? Right, I couldn't imagine there was trivia, so, you know.
Oh, there's always trivia, TC.
Sometimes there's not.
Yes, that's true. There's not too much on this one, but there is some interesting stuff. So he does say for most interviews that From Dusk Till Dawn and The Faculty, both Robert Rodriguez movies, are the biggest influence on him making this movie. He grew up in the 90s. He remembers fondly movie night at his parents' house. They would get VHS tapes. And he remembered like the 90s was great because people would take chances with these kind of big budget movies. And they would be like funny and horror a lot in the same movies. They would, take big swings. And there would always be unknown actors in the movie that you're watching where you'd shut, like the movie would end and be like, wow, that guy is really fucking good. I hope he goes places sort of thing. And these days he doesn't see any of those things happening in movies so much. So he wanted to make it funny and horror at the same time, and find somebody that could play this character that could sing, this Miles Canton character. So people would walk away being like, that guy's a fucking talent. He's going to be in other stuff. It's exactly what happened. Like he planned all this stuff out and it hit. I mean, I guess it's kind of lucky that they actually found this guy.
Well, yeah.
True.
Because people can't sing like this. People don't have voices. Like his voice is so deep and unique sounding too. It's not just like he can sing, but like his talking
Like
voice
when he speaks.
is
Yeah,
also really unique.
It is.
In
In fact, I thought it was being, kind of like embellished, but
Yeah.
it's not.
I thought so too for a little bit, but then I was like, no, when he started singing, I was like, okay, that sounds enough like when he's talking that's just his unique
That's just
voice.
his voice.
Yeah, it works well enough.
It was an audition tape they found him with. They said it looked like he was auditioning in a unlit basement. There was just no light. They could barely see him on the audition tape, but then the quote was like a once in a lifetime voice was coming through. So they're like, oh, okay, we got him. Don't care what he looks like. Can't see him.
It like never happens.
Yep. Yeah. But I mean, those two movies are the most easily recognizable, and they're both films, so that's what they give during interviews. But during one of the interviews, he says the biggest influence was actually a Twilight Zone episode called The Lost Rights of Jeff Myrtlebank. And it's basically about a guy that wakes up during his own funeral and what happens afterwards.
Hey,
and also
kind of a good premise.
the Stephen King book, Salem's Lot. Also the second biggest influence, but that's a book. So he doesn't like to cross media, confuses people this day and age. Can't have TV and books and movies as influence.
It would be very
things.
confusing.
Yeah.
But it's a very simple, straightforward thing to say from dusk till dawn. You'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
And it lines up 1-to-1. That was when I saw this, I was like, a lot of original stuff in here, same exact structure as from dusk till dawn, right? Not a bad thing. So Michael B. Jordan didn't complain about the heat, but he did complain about the bugs. Apparently, springtime 2024, big time bug season in Louisiana. So,
and they're massive, I'm sure.
Probably.
Ugh.
Metallica was a huge influence on the music in the movie, as well as the story's rhythm and beats. What's his name? Ryan Coogler said.
Metallica?
Wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. And Lars Ulrich, the drummer for Metallica, played in the orchestra in the score in this movie.
Oh my God, cool.
So that's why he's got the fucking stupid noodle and guitar.
Maybe that's it. That's there.
That's him. I get it now.
It's one of the Metallica guys in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Makes way more sense.
Maybe. They asked Michael B. Jordan who he liked to play the most, and he said he liked to play Stack the most, but when he was tired, on days he was tired, he fell into the Smoke character a lot easier because it was a lot easier to play like sad and depressed or whatever when he was tired.
Standing still, not really moving much or emoting much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You already mentioned Buddy Guy was in there. A lot of the music, most of the music was recorded on set. So that scene where they were like moving the camera around everybody, they were actually singing and dancing, and people were playing instruments.
What?
On set.
That was live? That was fucking live? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I have a hard fucking time believing that. Holy
so
shit.
do I, but time to rewatch it and, see what they say during the commentary.
Well, I am going to be rewatching this.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I see this movie being like a cult classic. I'm not even sure if cult would be the word, but I can see it being, see it standing the test of time.
Not even necessarily a cult classic. It's just, I can see it as being very rewatchable. Like people, I don't know. I feel like I could watch this again. And right. Even right after I was leaving, it's like, I kind of want to see this again. Now that I know where it all went, I want to sit and watch it without being so surprised. And just sort of enjoy it for all the other things that are going on, as opposed to just how I'm just so like, holy shit, the vampires are doing Irish step dancing now. I'm gonna dwell on that for quite a while, and it's really good.
It is.
I am really entertained by this, much more than I ever thought I would be entertained.
On paper, sounds stupid. In practice, amazing.
Hey, that step dancing never really caught my attention otherwise, but wow.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where there's so much shit going on that if anything faltered, it might have sucked.
Oh, it would hurt. It could derail you. It could stop you from being carried along with wherever the movie wanted you to go. Like a bad performance could have done that maybe too, like a really shitty actor or just not bad, or even just somebody not somebody didn't look cool. I think it could have really brought things to his.
That's kind of true.
Yeah,
I mean, that is true. Michael B. is just easy to watch, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he had a lot of charisma in his role. Yeah, in both.
In the beginning, like there are two characters in a blue hat and a white hat, and I was like, all right, I have to remember who's blue hat, who's white hat. But
red
like
hat.
10 minutes later.
Yeah,
blue and red. And then by like 10 minutes later, I was like, I don't need the hats. I can tell these two apart super easily after 2 seconds of hearing them talk.
Yep.
Two more pieces of trivia. The fake blood was extremely sticky. They had to be like unstuck from the ground, and they had to be unstuck from themselves. Like their fingers would stick together after scenes. They'd have to come in with like little squirt water bottles syrup? And spray them down just to clean them up.
Wow.
The bugs probably loved that.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, probably.
A couple flies caught in the blood. Ugh.
And the working title to this movie was Grilled Cheese, because Ryan Coogler thought that it was a simple, enjoyable, and available for all to watch and have a good time with,
Nice.
Okay.
as opposed to
They
his
did-
like fine
they
dishes.
did a better
of his previous
job.
work.
Grilled cheeses
With
are not
sinners.
very simple. I'll just have you know. I have a pain. They're pain in the ass to make.
What?
But whatever. You can have all that
There's
butter.
nothing easier than a grilled cheese sandwich.
What?
Sean.
No. There's totally something easier.
Maybe a
It's
ham
just
sandwich.
Putting a fucking bowl of soup in the microwave for 2 minutes and you're good. Just dump the soup in there. That's
I
easier than a
wouldn't
grilled
consider
cheese.
that cooking.
Grilled cheese are not easy.
That's an insane.
Ramen.
You must be a terrible cook, John.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
you must be
You gotta-
just really bad. I don't know what to tell you.
What do you guys make grilled cheeses all the time?
Sometimes, and they're pretty easy.
I
and
used
they're
to,
really
but
fucking
no,
good.
I don't make them anymore.
Wait, do
So
you
he's
gotta
got something there.
butter the outside of the bread and you like toast the bread?
No,
in
you
the
just
pan?
put butter in the pan and
Yeah,
you
put
just
butter in the
fucking
pan, you idiot.
What the fuck are you
What?
talking
Put
about?
enough
you
butter
gotta-
in the pan where there's a thick layer of butter, and you
You
just
put
throw
the
the bread
butter
in
in the
there.
pan, you
but you
put the
gotta-
bread down, and then you flip the bread. It's not so bad.
There you go,
That's all you
cheese.
got to do.
Yeah.
Leave it too long.
3
and
steps.
Then,
You want to hear a hot
steps.
trick? If you got really thick pieces of bread and you're worried the cheese won't melt, throw the throw the entire sandwich in the microwave for 15, 20 seconds before throwing it into the pan.
Yeah, I know.
Get the cheese already kind of melty in there. Guaranteed
It's all-
liquidy cheese.
Wow,
Yeah.
guaranteed fun.
Yeah. I'm going to go make a grilled cheese.
I might make one
good.
after this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just like the
geez,
craft.
it's got me hungry
singles,
now.
Too. You got right.
You got to
have
use
like
butter to cook it. This is
Oh my
fucking
god, you
hard.
gotta take it out of the fucking
I'm telling
thing
you,
and then
it's
put it
not
on the
easy.
thing. And
It is
How am I
not
supposed
easy.
to know when it's
Tell you,
done?
there's
There's no way to
easier
tell.
things. How hot should it be? You're gonna burn the butter. How long do you leave it? Then you burn the toast.
that's great. Burn the butter. It tastes
And then,
awesome.
and then if you use too much cheese that melts over the side, then the cheese starts burning. It burns
so
the
what?
cheese.
Oh,
Then you're
dude,
fine. You just
cheese
wash the
coming out?
pan.
Cheese
That's
coming out
it.
is the best thing that can happen.
The
crispy
kids,
cheese
then
coming
the
out the
kids
side.
are unhappy. Then the kids start crying. You did
just
it
wash the
wrong,
pan.
Dad. You did everything wrong.
Or are they crying because you're yelling at the cheese in the kitchen again?
That's probably right. I set up the smoke alarm. So I burned the butter.
So that's why you hate doing it. Yeah.
All right, so now we can ask the question, Tease. You want to ask it again?
Would you put this in the top 250?
I'm going to say yes.
I'm gonna say fuck it, yeah, because top 250's got a lot of shitty movies in it. So I'm
think-
going yes.
I'm curious to if how much room we have in the top 250 after saying yes all these times. Are we
I
actually
don't know.
still putting
We're
movies
probably
in
at
the top
400.
250? Yeah.
Well, when we get to our new website, we'll have to make some tough decisions, but we'll see. We'll get there.
We can actually check when you say yes to a top 250. It's going to push the one that at 250 out of the list.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then you can actually see if it actually is in the top 250 or if the one that's
We're
going to
have a
out is
movie
better.
fight. We're going to have a lot of movie fights.
Movie
That'll be
fight.
fun.
All right.
All right,
Next
well,
week, once again.
next week.
Whoa, what are we doing? We're doing
What are we
back
doing
to the
next?
list, I assume, right?
Are we?
What are we doing? Pulp Fiction?
Is that
Pulp
next week?
Fiction?
Is that what's
Is
next?
it- Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Awesome.
Number
I'm
7
into
on
that.
the list, guys.
All right, let's do it.
I'm into
Number
that.
7.
I'm into that. I'm ready.
Actually,
Nice. Ready for
the
talk
Pulp
about it
Fiction.
like an entertaining film. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm ready.
With
Cool.
left turns
That's right.
Yep.
And
Uh,
blood.
and
Yeah.
blood and comedy. It's the exact same
It's
movie.
got it
Yeah, it is.
all. Oh, shit. All right, boys.
All right,
Talk to you next week.
All
All
right.
right.
Take care, guys.
Hey, we're back. This is a week after we recorded our Sinners episode, and Sinners is doing some pretty funky stuff at the box office you don't see too frequently, so we just wanted to update and kind of state how well this movie is doing. This movie made $46 million its first weekend, and it made $45 million its second weekend with a near record-breaking drop of only 6%, which is
Pretty incredible.
absurd, unheard of.
What do you think it is? Do you think they
and
just kept marketing it, or do you think that word of mouth,
That's
or
the
how did it go?
fucking word of mouth.
It was word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
right?
Yeah.
People are talking about, it's marketing, it's self-marketing in terms of other people are writing about how good this film
I
is
see.
and how much people like this film, and that's like. But I saw this and I'm telling everybody.
I've said it too to
go
people.
see
Yeah,
it.
you should go see The Sinners. Yeah,
Yep.
if they like horror.
I don't do that. Yeah, I don't do that very often. Like with a film that I go see, and I know that it's hard for a lot of people to go out. That they have kids or whatever. Going out and seeing film like an adult film, but I'm doing that. I'm saying go see this one.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's,
Not
yeah.
only because it's an amazing, entertaining movie, but also it needs to be seen in the theaters to be fully appreciated.
That is a good
in
point.
every
Yes,
way.
I agree.
This is a movie you should go watch in the theaters, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a
So if we
it's
weren't
a spectacle.
enthusiastic enough in the first episode of this, look at the numbers, follow the money, right? That's always the rule
true.
of thumb. Just follow the money.
And go see it.
Go to the theater, give them your $20.
And have a good time.
It's and help them break more records with
So we
longevity.
can get more movies like this.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
This movie needs to. It's still got a ways to go. We talked about the upward estimations of how much money this movie needed to make was $300 million, and it's at 181 worldwide so far. But it's only been out for 13 days,
It's doing pretty good.
It's awesome.
Doing pretty well.
so we can do it.
It'll turn
Yeah.
a
Well,
profit
and I
And
at
they're
some
probably
point.
going to
You know-
re-release it during
Oh,
Oscar
you know what?
season.
I was
when
going
it
to
gets all the awards
say
and
that.
stuff.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to let it do another run, and I want to go. That will be perfect. I would want to go see it then.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
Bring the family Christmas
Hey,
time. Holy
let the
shit.
guy in. You'll be okay for it, I swear. All right. Well, thanks for the update, Denny. I think that was
All right, I just
worthwhile.
wanted to pop in and mention that because it's kind of cool how that's happening with this movie.
All right.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right, talk to you guys next week.